never change the ways because he doesn't think that that's the way football should be played. But that shows.
In danger, Morata got no sort of contact on it.
I think he was nudged off it purely because he wasn't strong enough. The ball comes over there and it's coming to him because there was not enough pace on it. He had to wait in the ball. I think he was nudged off it. In the end, it wasn't his head, it came off and dropped straight to Gomez. But a little half chance there. Bit of space in the box for Chelsea.
Chelsea 0, Watford 0. And Watford in this red kit with white trim and a black band across the lower chest as the ball is.
I don't think Bakayoko was strong enough there. He's looked just a little bit tired. He's taking
yeah, Bakayoko is now being pulled up for a foul on Femenia, so it's a free kick to Watford on the halfway line. It was initially Bakayoko on Pereira.
There has been a couple of games this season I watched Bakayoko early on and he was able to bully other players. You won't be able to do that very often in the Premier League. That's one of the big things about the Premier League. The power is everywhere, and certainly in that central midfield area. And when you get to the likes of, Mariappa and Cavacielli at the back, you won't bully them.
0-0. Here's Morata. That's a lovely turn on the right-hand side, but Hazard was in an offside position and Morata passed it to him, and the flag was immediately raised by the official on the far side. So Chelsea 0, Watford 0. Yeah, Richarlison, who's just watching, tall figure, this young Brazilian, 20 years old. Mark Chapman was talking, and if you haven't seen it, it was a fascinating article in the Daily Telegraph this week, an interview with him by, I presume it was a fellow Brazilian. The person who did the interview wasn't familiar to me, and there's some really revealing stuff, sort of thing that you almost felt is a throwback. Here they come, Deeney heading the ball back into the D on the edge of the area. David Luiz with a challenge. The Watford fans shouting for a foul in the D on Pereira, nothing given by John Moss, and Chelsea break away. Pedro plays it square to Fabregas making ground now to to Hazard. Little ball across the penalty area is cleared away by Watford on the edge of their own box.
Rather delightfully, we've got quite an open game now, haven't we? This actually could be quite entertaining because Watford aren't sitting back. They're not just going to soak up the pressure and try and play in the break themselves. They are really going to try and win this game. It's given Chelsea an opportunity to break into those areas, so I think there will be plenty of chances, already dangerous areas for both sides.
Yes, they're being bold, aren't they, Watford? But here come Chelsea on the right-hand side. Very open game, still 0-0, very early stages. Almost 10 minutes played. Here's Fabregas, turns, lovely ball to Hazard in space. Now Azpilicueta's cross low, but this one is cleared away by Britos as he falls inside his own penalty area, and the red shirts of Watford bring it away towards Doucouré, who is challenged by Rudiger, and it's out of play for a throw on the halfway line.
Still want to hear your Richarlison.
Oh, I mean, it was about his upbringing, absolute abject poverty. The fact that he went, when he was signed for his first major club, Richarlison, when he went to America Mineiro, he went on a 12-hour bus journey and said when he got there he was absolutely penniless. He said he had to succeed because he hadn't got any money at all. Chelsea with the ball on the right-hand side. There's Britos just got a little touch on that against Hazard.
The assistant referee had no idea there.
Didn't flag one way or the other, and eventually I think John Moss encouraged him to point to a corner, and Chelsea have taken this corner quickly. Chelsea, Watford are back in position. It's played back to Pedro. Pedro shoots, hits the post and in! Gomez, absolutely nowhere, just watched it strike the top of the inside of the post and spin across the goal into the back of the net, and Pedro scores, and Chelsea are 1-0 up on Watford.
Yeah, fantastic goal there, but I think we need to ask the question about the corner kick. I'm pretty convinced. We've not got monitors here, and it's a long way away from us, but gauging by the reaction and gauging by what we watched there, it didn't look like a corner kick. Chelsea shouldn't have got that corner. Anyway, Watford turned off, Chelsea played it short, and it is a fabulous strike there by Pedro. It's a corner that's been used again and again, and at the moment the referee's going to go over, he's going to book one of the Watford players for complaining, which maybe underlines the point I'm making there, that I'm not convinced that was a corner kick. Didn't look like it to me.
Well, it'll be very interesting if the pictures have been shown as to whether that was
it looked as if it could have come off there. Just an assistant here has actually come over. The assistant referee didn't make a decision because he didn't know. It looked to me it hit Hazard's heel. I thought it hit Hazard's heel when it came, but it was a hard one to call.
Do you know, it's interesting.
You don't guess them. You don't guess them.
again, you know, we're obviously a long way away here. My instinct was that it was a corner. So
yeah, mine was the opposite.
Yeah. So,
but we've
not yet seen those pictures. Whether it, actually we might be about to see them.
No, we haven't. This is just a goal again. There's no.
However, Chelsea took a quick free kick and completely caught out the Watford defence. You know, Pedro had the space. What was he, 22, 23 yards out with an angle? It's a lovely finish.
Yeah. It's a natural finisher. That's the big thing about Pedro. And his first season at Chelsea ended up not being as good as many would have hoped, but his natural striking instincts has certainly come back.
Pedro starting for the first time since the match at Stoke as Azpilicueta overhits a pass through, so that's straight through for a goal kick. But Pedro, if you remember, did score in that match, his last start, and here he is back in the starting lineup and scoring. It was a sort of swirling shot, curling from the right side, just outside the box.
It's not the first time they've tried that this season. You know, the short corner and make sure that he's on the edge of the box, because he is very good. Actually, Chelsea have got 3 or 4 that are pretty special from that sort of range. But Pedro, fantastic strike there. And by the way, Gomez didn't get within 4 feet of it.
And the rest.
And if he dived, he wouldn't have get within 3 feet of it either. It was a fabulous hit.
It actually, Gomez's reaction there, actually, this will be a painful one for you, it actually had a little touch of Alan Rough about it.
I know exactly the goal you're talking about. And or one of the ones.
One of the ones.
Falcao, is it? The original Falcao?
Well, there were a few of them, Pat. I think I remember.
Before that day, if I remember as well.
And sadly now that's one very much for older listeners.
At this point,
but of course younger listeners will be able to look it up.
Yeah, go and look up, go on YouTube, just say Scotland, David Neri and Brazil, and it'll all come up.
Chelsea 1, Watford 0. Sunshine here in West London, and Celtic are still 1-0 up on Hibernian. In fact, let's get the latest from Ruddy Forsyth, who's watching at Hampden.
And it's still 1-0 for Celtic. That goal scored by Mikael Lustig, who'd come up from defence earlier and got in the end of what was a header which may have come off his teammate Boyata, but might equally have come off Hibs' Ambrose. That's the goal that divides the sides. It wasn't a great performance by the Hibs goalkeeper. By the way, former Hibs goalkeeper, you just mentioned him, didn't you, John?
We did.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. 1-0 to Chelsea, and now we finally have seen, and we can tell you definitively whether it should have been a corner or not.
It was definitely a goal kick. Definitely 100% a goal kick. Do you know what? I'm not being clever because I called it for a goal kick. I look at players' reactions, and the players' reactions were, we thought that was a goal kick, including Hazard when he first reacted to it. But the ire and anger from the Watford players when they realised that they didn't A, get the goal kick, and B, that Chelsea then scored from that corner.
Yeah, well done, Pat. And actually, you know, it's been a while until we have seen those pictures.
Yep.
We'll come back to that because Watford are coming forward, and that's a nice flick by Pereira, and a shot from Holebas which was blocked at source by Gary Cahill. A shot 25 yards or so. Lovely footwork from Hazard. Lovely. Went away from cleverly in centre field. Gave it to Morata on the left-hand side. Morata, the space here. If Morata can find the pass, which he can. A little chip by Fabregas. And Gomez was able to claw it out of the air. Tried to be too cute, Fabregas.
Yeah, I mean, Gomez did all the right things and narrowed the angles there, but you keep it low and hard and in the corner if you say Fabregas had so much time. But Chelsea do look, Jane, we mentioned just a few moments ago, it's an open game. Chelsea are having spaces to break into. Absolutely fantastic play with Hazard in the midfield there. Takes 2 players out of the game. His link-up play with Morata is looking quite good at the moment. Morata gets it out to Fabregas, who's got loads of space in the box there. And as you say, too cute for his own good.
Probably just a little too close to the goalkeeper, Gomez.
To be fair, I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure it would have made the goal anyway, because I think the defender was coming round. So had Gomez gone down, which many goalkeepers do in that position, it might have not actually got over the line because there wasn't enough power on the actual chip.
And clearly the news of the TV pictures that show that the Chelsea corner that led to their opening goal should not have been given have obviously reached Marco Silva as Richarlison. Lovely little bit of footwork from him. Fabregas comes in with a challenge. Richarlison goes sprawling and referee Moss gives the free kick, and Fabregas doesn't like it.
Well, I think, yeah, he didn't mean it. I think maybe he's saying that. I think he was a wee bit fearful and they get a yellow card as well. But his feet weren't quick enough. Richarlison beyond him there. Fabregas isn't absolutely noted for his defending in those sort of positions there. and it's a free kick. And I think Watford are getting a bit miffed anyway. Probably the third shout they've had for a free kick in that sort of area, and that's the first time they've got it.
Well, you can tell that news of the pictures about the corner that shouldn't have been have reached Marco Silva, because he's been in the ear of the fourth official, Andre Marina, and he looks distinctly disgruntled down there, waving his arms around. Free kick. Holebas is going to take this in for Watford. It's cleared away near the penalty spot by the centre forward. Murata comes out for Watford on the right hand side, across from Britos, but he's put too much on that, and it bounces away behind for a goal kick.
Well,
1-0 Chelsea lead.
Delivery pretty disappointing there from the free kick. You know, it's a dead ball there, considering if, you know, Watford will have done their homework and they'd have noticed what Edin Dzeko did against Chelsea during the week from a free kick from that sort of area.
Chelsea passing the ball out from the back. They're being pressed by Watford, but they have successfully passed their way to the halfway line, where Mariappa came in from behind with a sliding challenge on Eden Hazard, took him down, and referee Mosses has got a yellow card out of his pocket for the second time for a Watford player.
Again, Mariappa is trying to go for the ball there, but he doesn't get the ball. It was flicked away by Hazard. If you commit yourself that much and you go to ground and you take a bit of the player, it might not have been vicious, but in the modern game you just can't do it. It's an absolute straight yellow every single time from the vast majority of referees.
So that's 2 of Watford's back 5 have been booked in the first 20 minutes. Ball forward for Murata, who couldn't pull it down with his right foot, and it bounces through to Gomez. So Mariappa booked for that challenge on Hazard, and Holebas was yellow carded. I can't remember if I mentioned that. He was yellow carded for his protest after the corner that was given that shouldn't have been.
And you can now fully understand, we can fully understand his anger, because he feels if you've lost a goal, you've worked on, you know, everything you've worked on, and all taken away by what is a decision. Obviously, for once, I am not going to complain at the assistant referee on the far side who was beside it. He didn't give it because he didn't know. So he just did not give a decision there and waited for the referee to make a call. Problem is, the referee's made a call on percentages there. In those situations, you end up usually going with the defensive decision. He didn't.
Pereira with a challenge on Bakayoko that the home crowd didn't like. And then Watford, here's Bakayoko again. They're being extremely competent in central midfield, Watford, and the ball bounces up and hits Cleverley on the hand. It's a free kick. Chelsea, Cleverley is distinctly unimpressed with the decision that went against him there. Rudiger with a cross now, who's headed across the penalty area by Femenia, nodded back out to the left hand side by Bakayoko. Now Hazard with a cross, and a flying catch by Gomez. Marvellous.
Great goalkeeping. I think you're talking about Cleverley being angry. He was angry. I'll tell you what he was angry about. That free kick was taken about 15 yards away from where the free kick actually happened, and the referee did nothing about it. I think the Watford players are getting really, really ratty and angry with the referee just now. In actual fact, they need to calm down and forget about it. It's gone now, it's done. Just got him again, get back into it.
20 minutes played. Chelsea are leading through Pedro's 3rd goal of the season for Chelsea. Alonso miscontrols on the left wing. The ball bounces out of play for a throw-in to Watford. 5 Live. If you're out and about, you can listen to us via the BBC Sport app on your mobile phone, wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, and also read the text analysis and all of the social media. You can get in touch now at 5 Live Sport on whatever sort of social media you use, if indeed you use it. We are aware that not everyone does. Here's Fabregas. Rudiger near the halfway line, goes back to Fabregas, who will see it all the way back to Courtois. So it's 1-0 to Chelsea. Commentary to come at 3 o'clock on very much a lesser spotted fixture, Huddersfield Town against Manchester United. Commentary on that from 3. Here's Alonso. Alonso, though, is challenged well by Doucouré, but Murata then swings it out to the right-hand side to Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta with the outside of his boot, plays it across the box, stretching header away by Britos. Comes out to the blue of Chelsea once again. Lovely flick from Hazard. Bakayoko shoots, it's blocked. Will actually bounce to Richarlison, who is deep inside his own defence.
And now we're gonna go walk over to the volcano. Mom, just so you know, if you're watching this video right now,
قال لم هو لم يذكر اسمه، قال بعض المدربين يتباكون، وانا استطيع ابكي لمده 5 دقائق على اصابات عندي بوجبا